We are back with exercise 3.1. I do wish you me when I'm trying to study. Okay, so before we even start discussing this in earnest, I would like to maybe open one of our useful wish tables. There you go. And we might use it in the future. Maybe we can also open this one. The tenses table might also be useful. Okay. I do wish you me when I'm trying to study. Okay, so this is referring to the present. It's referring to the present, and it's a wish structure. So present or future, second conditional, would, past simple. Would, past simple, and apart from that, this is something even more explicit, because here we are expressing irritation, so we can use would, the would part, to indicate that irritation. So I do wish you wouldn't interrupt me now when I'm studying, right? Because we are expressing our irritation here. So it's present, future, and we are expressing irritation, so we are using would. Okay, it's high time. Oh, high time is a structure where you want to use past simple. So it's high time you did something about the mess in your room. You are very late. I'd prefer it if you... Okay, I'd prefer it if you... Oh, this is the preferred if structure. We had it in our chapter when we discussed the gerunds and infinitives, and we had this structure there. You can look it up in the handout. I would prefer it if you arrived a little earlier next time. I would prefer it if you arrived a little earlier next time. Okay. And even if we analyze it on our table, it is referring to the future. So with these types of structure, expressing wishes regarding future, or kind of... No, this is not a conditional. Let's not confuse it with wish. But if you want to stretch it a little bit, then we're referring to the present or future, and in these kind of cases with the present or future, we usually use past simple. Even if you look at the would prefer structure, right? Where do we have the would prefer structure? With present or future and with two people, because there are two people in that sentence, we use past simple, right? So you kind of get the idea that this is kind of a running theme in these sort of sentences, right? So two people, future, we are using past simple here. Although this is not a would rather structure, right? It's would prefer. It's a completely different structure, but the same kind of rule applies here. If only people of the damage of global warming 20 years ago. Okay, so we have 20 years ago, which means we're talking about the past. So we have if only structure, and we're talking about the past. That means we want to use the third conditional. Okay, third conditional. Perfect. So if only people had been aware, right? That's the past perfect version. Had been aware. I wish I know how to ride a horse. Okay, I wish I knew how to ride a horse. We are referring to a present situation, and or future, right? So we use past simple here. I wish I knew how to ride a horse. Fantastic. If my family not on a holiday flat, we wouldn't always go to the same place. Okay. So this is we are referring to the present or future here. So present or future is past simple. So and this is if only, right? So yeah, it's wish or if only, of course. I wish oh, oh, sorry, it's not if only, it's not wish, it's if my family. This is just second conditional, pure second conditional. Okay, I was looking at this one here. Okay, so this is second conditional, and it refers to it's referring to the present, right? So second conditional. We are considering an alternative situation of the present, so we are here. Alternative version of a situation referring to the present, so it's second conditional. Okay. If only my family didn't own a holiday flat, we wouldn't always go to the same place. Go to Britain if you to speak English all the time. Go to Britain if you want to speak English all the time. That's first conditional. So simple sentence. If you want to speak English, go to Britain, right? So for present simple here, it's referring to the present or future, and it's a probable situation. You will speak. I mean, you're going to speak English, or you will speak English, if you go to England. So a certain thing. Even on our table, if we look at our table, we see that this is possible situation referring to the present or future. So it's first conditional. Okay. Fantastic. Unless you ahead of time, you would find no accommodation. You would find no accommodation. So you would find, this is second conditional because it's would. So unless you booked ahead of time, you would find no accommodation. Now this sentence, I will tell you from the get-go, is slightly confusing. Nevertheless, I see here would, so I see this would be most likely second conditional. So unless you booked ahead of time, you would find no accommodation. Because we are actually here, what we are doing is we're speculating about the future. This is what that sentence means. We're speculating ahead. We're speculating about the future. So jeśli nie zabukujecie sobie wcześniej, to nie będziecie mieli miejsca. To jest mniej więcej takie tego typu zdanie. So that's how you wanna interpret it. Unless you booked ahead of time, you would find no accommodation. Okay. Suppose you and this is a similar thing actually. Suppose usually when I see suppose, I already see like kind of second conditional situation there. Suppose you travel anywhere in the world, where would you go? Okay, so yeah, again, so would travel, or yeah, could travel maybe, right? Because would doesn't fit here, unless you could, suppose you could travel. Gdybyś mógł pojechać gdziekolwiek, to gdzie byś pojechał, right? So unless, suppose you could travel anywhere, where would you go? Second conditional, speculation regarding the future, which is not that probable. If I hadn't packed my jumper, that night, I would have been cold that night. Okay. This is third conditional, if I hadn't packed my jumper, and this is just third conditional, it's that night, so it's referring to the past, and we know that when we are referring to the past, we need to use third conditional, past, alternative version of a situation. Perfect, so we're finishing the conditionals, and now we're moving on to reported speech, and we still have three more exercises to go.